Hello, 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 everybody. I'm back. I know. I tell you, I just, you know what it is when that was, I think last week was the first time that we didn't have, that we weren't here. Let me just say that. But let me just say we are back. I'm glad to be back. Just being here makes a big difference to me. And back on another beautiful, wonderful Monday. What can I say? And it is too. It's kind of hot today. I think it's like 103, 104, 100 and something in those triple digits. But, that's Inland Empire. That's just how it is. I think I've just kind of grown accustomed to it. But anyway, hello, hello, hello. I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is Mary D. Welch. I am the host of the Mary D. Show. For those of you that don't know me, going on 2 years consecutively, which is, I'm really excited about that. So we just kind of keep chugging right along. Thank you to our live viewers and thank you to the replay viewers. Anytime you watch the show, I'm happy. I'm glad. So your support means so much more than you'll ever know. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today's show. We have the Idea Club, and the president of the Idea Club is Dumas Martin Jr. If those of you are interested in getting a LLC, which is a limited liability corporation, or if you'd like to get a nonprofit, which is a 501c3, either of those, or if you're interested in getting a corporation, which is a C Corp or S Corp, you want to contact Dumas. That's who you want to talk to. Dumas is, as they say, Dumas is the man for that. I would highly recommend you talk to him because he knows when it comes to intellectual property, that's the person we go to, Dumas Martin Jr. I'd also like to thank the Henderson Real Estate Group. I'm sorry, Henderson Real Estate Team. Henderson Real Estate Team for being a sponsor. If you're buying or selling, doesn't matter. Contact the Henderson Real Estate Team. I also like to thank First Book Academy. If you are writing your first book, I can tell you right now, the first book was probably the hardest book I could get published. After that, it's been off to the races. It's like I just need to get the confidence. And so that really made a huge difference. So let me just tell you that. So you definitely want to get that. If you're thinking about writing it or you've already written it, let's say you wrote your book is finished. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to all the time. The book is finished. They won't publish it. I'm just amazed at that, and I know why. I've said this to many of. I said you're afraid of the criticism. Okay, let me help those of you that this is an issue. Okay, just so you can be okay with this, you're going to be criticized. Let's just put it out there. You're going to be criticized. Somebody's not going to like what you're writing. But guess what? Guess what? A lot of people will like it. If don't get me started. But if I waited for people's approval, many of the things I'm doing, I would not do. I wouldn't do them. I wouldn't do them. That's because I would sit back and wait for approval. You may never get that approval. So what do you do in the meantime? You don't publish? Are you kidding? If you have a manuscript and you want to get it published, I can tell you how to do that. Go to frontpagepublishing.com. Frontpagepublishing.com. Or you can go to First Book Academy, either one of those, and answer a few questions. Before you know it, your book will be published. I know it's hard to believe. I know I sound like it's 1, 2, 3 like that. But if you have a manuscript, you're not far from it. You got it, but we can get there, get you to that finish line a lot faster. Let me say that. Okay. I haven't had my nose itch on the air in so long. Anyway, but here we go. So I would encourage you, First Book Academy. If you're interested in writing a book, you've always wanted to write a book, you just never did it, or you need help, or whatever the case may be, First Book Academy is a good starting point. If you have a manuscript, you've already written the manuscript, and all you really need now is tweaking, maybe editing, maybe an illustrator if it's a children's book. Then what you want is Front Page Publishing. And they're both .coms. Front Page Publishing, First Book Academy, both .coms. Okay. Now, If you're going on a trip, look at all these sponsors, and you can go. Let's say you want to go get away, and you don't want to pay full price. You rather pay wholesale instead of retail. Go to First Fridays Travel. That'll be the go to First Fridays Travel. Now we're almost there, getting over the hump, and then we're gonna get into what is love. That's coming up. And you know what? I can go on and I think I can put that up. Oh, first we have, before I even say that, let me, because I have to acknowledge, we have Gwen. Hi, Gwen. I know. I know. I know. You know what? That's the first holiday I acknowledged. Think about that. All the holidays I have not acknowledged. Juneteenth, I did. I acknowledged Juneteenth. I know. That's how important Juneteenth is to our community. So that's the only one, because we have the 4th of July coming next week, but we're having the show next week. And that's, I can tell you some of the real quick about the history of that, because the 4th of July was celebrating the independence from England. We're not celebrating independence for African Americans. We were promised our freedom at the end of the American Revolution. It would be 100 years later before it would come. Isn't that interesting? You know how many generations that is? But true, all this is true. But anyway, but hi, Gwen, how you doing? So let me add, because I want to make sure I definitely talk about this. You know, I have a passion for this, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the probate. Save your home from probate. I always have to show it to you, because hopefully this is what the cover looks like. If you live in California, I do have a California edition just for California residents. And I say that because there is 33 states plus the District of Columbia where the paperwork is, those are the states that accept this, the paperwork for the Save Your Home from Probate. Now, the other states that don't accept it, I just think it's a matter of time, and they will too. That's what I think. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, that because it's over 50%. It's over 50% of the states that have already accepted it. So, and California being one of the biggest, the next huge one on there would be Texas. So, so I would encourage you. The books are right there on Amazon. The book that has all the states in it, it's on there. But in addition to that, California has its own edition, and I'm working on Texas having their own, because the state has so many. The populations are so huge in those states, and so I really want to make sure we really focus on those. Eventually, all states will have their own separate book. And that is because if you're living in Texas, do you really care what California law is? No. Let's just be honest. You could care less, unless you have property there or family or something like that. So that's why you want to change. Okay. And let me add the new children's book coming out, which is Peyton, the Pink Whale with the Yellow Tail. That will be coming soon. That book is actually, those of you that know Oliver is executive producer of the show. That's my husband, Oliver. And that is one of his favorites. People always ask me which book is my favorite. I never say that, because I keep saying I don't want the books to hear me. Isn't that something? I don't want them to hear me say, oh, yeah, that's the favorite. You know what? I'm going to tell you why. It reminds me of our children. You don't want to say, that's my favorite child and you're not my favorite child. How can I say that all of them came out of my head? So, so I never say anyone's the favorite or the not favorite, whatever the case may be. I never say that. Okay, now, I got through all of that to get here. The topic for today, I'm going to put it in here, which is, what is love? Here, I'm going to put, here it is. There it is. What is love? That is today's topic. You know, I'm going to tell you, when the idea came to me about what is it, because I think we think we know, including me, we think we know what it is. But I can almost guarantee you we don't. We just think we know what it is. And we think that we have the answer to this. So that's why the title came up of What is Love. And you can leave your comments. I'm gonna read some to you, but I'm really curious about what do you think it is? What do you think love is? And how does that affect your life? We have a couple of our audience Now they sent everything over. They said they wanted to come into but that's okay. This is what I've learned. See, I do this every week. They may not, so they may. I don't know if they want to be online. Hello, Richard. How are you? There you go. How you doing? So I tell Wilma I said hi. Okay, all right. So on what is love? Let me give you the definition. I actually put a few definitions in here for us. Let me go ahead in here because I want to make sure the definition is. And let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger for us. What is the real definition of love? The noun, a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person, a feeling of warm, personal attachment or deep affection for a parent, child, or friend. Okay. And there was another part to this, I believe, too. Oh, did I miss it? Oh, here we go. Let me scroll. Oh, then it says sexual passion or desire. That goes with the top part I just read. I just want to make sure everybody saw or heard the same thing. So this is from, I actually Googled it about what is love, and this is what the answer is. Now, that's it? Well, let me ask you this. And you can make comments. This is an interactive show. This is not I give the information and that's it. It's not that show. No. So what do you think? What do you think it is? So you can write it in the chat, and then I can put it up. Or is this the end all be all definition? Which I'm sure there's other ones too, but I will put this up. Let me put it back up again. It's now a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. So if you don't have that profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person, a feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection as for a parent, child, or friend, can you not be in love with someone and have those same emotions? See how that goes? What if you may not be in love with them, but can you have those emotions and not be in love with them? Okay, let's see. Here we go. Because I haven't even seen any comments pop in yet, but I'm sure you guys are sitting here thinking, what is love? And maybe a better way to say it is what we won't do for love. Love, okay, Charles, you're supposed to be in the show. Did you get your link, Charles? I emailed it over to you. Okay. Charles says love is unconditional. Ooh, is it unconditional? Yeah, or do we have conditions for love? Do we have conditions for love? That's a good one. That's a good one, Charles. I think we do. And I think as I was reading the definition, yes. Oh, okay, no problem. Charles said he can't get on because he's driving. I get it. Okay, here we go. And Gwen says the 4 biblical definitions of love: affection, friendship, eros, and charity. I think I said that right. Being divorces, I summarize that one loves based on who they are. My ex did the best he could do with who he was or is. So does that mean that I like this. Is if you're divorced, do you stop loving that person? I'm gonna ask you that. I have a feeling the answer is that it may not be no. Just because you're no longer married does not mean the love dissipates. You can still love them, but you're not married to them. That's me saying it. I'm not saying, I don't know. Let's see. And David, hi David. Here you go. David's coming in. I just love, come on now. I love these comments. A very strong feeling of attachment to someone or something like a pet. Okay. Can you have an attachment and not have love, David? See, that's the it. I think we think I don't disagree with you. I'm saying okay. I have a strong attachment to my dog. I don't have a dog, by the way. So, so which I travel too much to have pets. I wouldn't be fair to a pet. Tell you the truth. But if I had, like, when we did have a dog, I had a strong attachment to her. Her name was Hyper because she was hyper. And does that mean I love her, or can I have a strong attachment to her and not love her? Can I still have a strong attachment to her, or does love have to be? If that's what love is, that strong attachment to her. I tell you, these kind of things is, and I say that. Let me give you guys another what I was looking at for the definition, because it says, this is First Corinthians in the Bible. This is ESV version, and this is love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. And it is not irritable or resentful, and it does not rejoice. Wow. Think about that. That's a hard to live up to that, to me, to live up to all of these things of what love is. Wow. That's the biblical. That's one of the biblical. It's not the only one, but that's one of the biblical of what love is. Now, this doesn't talk about a strong attachment. Oh, there's somebody at the front door. I think my husband told me, for those of you that didn't know, my birthday was last week, and my in-laws were sending me a present, and I think they just came today because I heard the front door. So on a strong attachment, it doesn't mention. Think about this. This does not say anything about a strong attachment. Mm-mm. So could there be more than one definition for love? I think there is more than one definition. What do you guys think? I think it's more than one. Mm-hmm. So think of it's just, and then if you really think about it, the definitions are not universal. They're not universal. It's not like this is the definition. It can be so many different ones. That's what I think it is. Oh, this okay. So I think that it can be different definitions for love. This is the definition that I gave the first one, and that's because I Googled it. Let's see. And then the second one is a biblical definition. And then I'll give you the biblical definition, which is, I'm going to put that up again so you can see that. And that is, okay, the love is patient. Think about this. It doesn't say emotions in that. It says love is patient. Love is kind. This is what, and these are, think about these things. These are actions. Love is patient. Many people are not patient for all kinds of reasons, but they'll tell you they love you, and they'll say the words. But I think what you think about this, what this is saying the words is one thing, but what are you showing? If I say I love you, but I'm not patient with you, I say I love you, but I'm not kind to you. I say I love you, but I envy you, or I boast, or it's arrogant or rude. If I'm those things, do I really love? You're saying no. It does not, think about this now, does not insist on its own way. That's big right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's big. does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice. Think about it. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Gwen. Gwen said there's more than one definition and more than one way to love a person. I like that. Come on, Gwen. Unconditional, though romantic, which I think your focus is on today. I'm kind of like all over the place. To give and truthfully, I think it just came to me. I don't even know why this came to me, but then again, let me just be honest. If I knew why most of the things I write come to me, I don't even know. I do know. I tell anybody it's definitely God, because I know it's definitely the Lord. I say, God, thank you for these downloads, because that's what they're spiritual downloads to the books. Now I'm screenwriting, just it's definitely God. So, but when it says, you said more than one definition and more than one way to love a person, unconditionally, though romantic, which I think you're focused on today. I think it's a combination. I really think if you think about it, it's like putting it together like that. Like it's not, there is no one, which you're absolutely right, Gwen. You're absolutely right. There is no one. The combination of all of these things interwoven is what. So if you are saying you love someone and you are, and you're not patient with them, do you really love them? If you're, let's say, how many times we hear about domestic violence and someone is not kind to that person, but they'll tell them they love them. Like we know, the abuser usually they beat people up and then they ask for forgiveness. And some people have even been killed in situations like this. So it's really, you have to really, really think about what's going on as far as what people are doing or saying. And we have, hi, Elaine. Hi, Elaine. And Elaine says, this is Elaine's. She says, love is definitely personal for me. All right. I use the biblical definition so I can stay right. I know what you mean. Laugh out loud. Those I love, I have a strong affection for, and each one may be loved in a different and a special way. I like that. So there is no one way. That's what we said. There is no just one way. I think that's really the truth. I think it's more generalized than it is, this is the only way to love. Or if you don't love this way, do you really love? This is what and we haven't talked about this, it should never hurt. It should never hurt to love. If someone is hurt, if you're hurting, then that's not love. If you're being abused, that's not love. If someone tells you I love you and they're beating you, that's not true. Let me tell you that right now. So don't fall for these kind of, and people do, by the way, they do every single day. Oh, that's why he's beating me, because he really loves me. No, don't even think like that. Don't even get caught up into that, because people will drag you into these worlds of thinking that this is what this means, and it's not. If it's hurting you, that's not love. That's a good indication. This is not. You don't need to be there. If you're in any kind of pain from it, that's not love. Thank you for that, Elaine. And I think, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we love, like Elaine was saying, we love different people differently. That's what I think it is too. A parent and child love is different from spousal love or from opposite sex love or whatever. That love is going to be different than a parent child. That's a different love. So it depends on who it is. A sister brother, or brother sister, or two brothers, whatever the case may be. But the point is it's going to be a difference in those and who it is, on how we love them and how we feel about them, how we are engaging with them one way or the other. Usually, I think there's some type of relationship that has over time that comes to play when you are in, with that person and you love that person, that kind of thing. At some point in time, that relationship comes out as to I'll say sister, brother, or it can be any parent, child, or husband, wife. It happens over time. It usually does not happen the second that Well, that's not true. I'll say that because I remember this literally the second the kids are born to me. You'll give your life for that child. If it meant you and the child, then you already know it'll be you. You don't even think that it won't. You already know it will. So there's a love there that goes beyond. The child doesn't know that you love like that, and the child doesn't love you like that because they don't even know you. But you know that if it came to it, and it was, and some harm was coming, you would give your life for that little being, the little person, that you would give your life for that person. Okay, we have this definition. That's the first one that I gave, which is, what is the real definition of love? Which is a noun, a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. Remember, the one I gave you that's in the Bible didn't even mention that. Isn't that interesting? Also, a feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection as for a parent, child, or friend. And the second half of that definition was sexual passion or desire. That goes with the top. It wouldn't fit. That's why I had to add the second one. So that's one. Another one, and this is the What is Love show. The What is Love show. And it is, okay. And that is, excuse me. I actually brought, now anytime I'm bringing water on with me, that should tell you something. Much better. Sorry about that. It is, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. I think that's a big one. I do. It does not insist on its own way. Most people are selfish. They want their way. That's just life. I don't think that's so. If you're not insisting on your own way, that's huge right there. And it is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice. And I think when it's saying it does not rejoice, meaning there's something is going on with another person, they don't rejoice in that. They don't get happy if someone is, let's say someone is down, they get excited about somebody being down. They're rejoicing in somebody's disappointments or hurts or pain or something like that. That's not love. Now, another definition. There's one more. Let me think. Oh, this is, and many of you have heard these. There, and it says, this is John 15:12. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Luke 6:31 says, do to others as you would have them do to you. Think about it. And Corinthians 16:14, do everything in love. In Proverbs, I think I didn't get a chance to write Proverbs, but that was it. So do everything in love. That means, think about this. If you're doing everything in love, whatever you are doing it in love. Whether it's working, whether it's cleaning, whatever it is, you're talking on the phone, that would mean in your tone, that would mean in your actions, That would mean in everything you do it until in you do it in under love, under the umbrella. You say umbrella of love. That would mean you don't disrespect anyone. You don't uh, gossip. I know, huh? We don't think of gossip. I know we don't think of gossip as doing anything but just enjoying. But we don't gossip. We don't disrespect anyone. We treat everyone with respect. I always say from the smallest to the tallest, doesn't matter. You still show respect to that person. Doesn't matter. The little tiny child running around to the tallest person in the room, still respect them. Show them respect, show kindness toward them. And that's what it says in the Bible. That's what love is, kindness. Just that little things. I think we think it's a big thing. No, it's little things. It's the little things we do daily. We get an opportunity to every single day. Think about this. Every day that our eyes open, because we all know, I don't always say it, but we have a date with destiny. Everybody that is born has that date with destiny. So how can you make that date with destiny when your time comes, and whatever time that is, a good time where you're respecting the people that in your circle, the closest ones to you, that you show love, tenderness, kindness, that you're not resentful, jealous, or envious of anything. This is what I always say. If God will do it for them, he'll do it for me. Because he's no respecter of person. He doesn't respect that person any more, any less than he respects me. So why I'm born on the planet just like they're born on the planet. So if he'll do it for them, he'll do it for you too. Whatever it is, and I don't know what that may be for you, but whatever that is for you, know that it can be done. Whatever that is. But you can't disrespect people and then expect to be blessed for that. You can't. It doesn't work like that. No. It's just I tell you the truth, you have reduced your own blessings by any time, because we are all God's creatures. So the one thing you want to do is respect everyone, no matter, as I said before, from the smallest to the tallest. You respect them. Show them respect by not talking down to them, by being kind to them, being nice, all of these things. And I think we take them for granted. I think we think being nice is something that or is an old school, as they say, but I don't think it is. I don't know. I think that's something we can never take it for granted. Think about it this way. You know how you're driving down the street and somebody cuts in front of you? I know everybody know what that is. Do you yell and scream and curse them out and throw up as they say, the bird or anything? Any of those things. Is that being nice? Is that being kind? Even though that person wasn't. This is what's hard about that. We think that if we do all that, the other person is automatically going to show the same thing to us, don't we? That has nothing to do with that. They may not show you any kindness. Does that mean you stop showing kindness? Nope. It doesn't mean that. But we think it does. We think, oh, well, I let them in. Because this is what when I drive, I go, okay, I'm going to let this car in. But then other cars want to go. I'm like, wait now. I did let this car in. Somebody else got to let you guys in. I can't let all of you guys in. Because the people behind me are going to be like, what? I can be kind and let a car in. And let, sometimes, how people trying to get into a line and it's backed up and all, and nobody wants to let them in. I've never understood that. But you want to, in my opinion, show some type of kindness. I'm not saying you let every car get in front of you, but let's say you let a car, maybe two. But the point is you're showing kindness. And this is how I feel about, because that's what they say, that's what love is, kindness. When you do that, I do believe it starts a rippling effect. And the way it does that is that I can't promise you it does this. I just feel like the energy you're sending out goes to other people. And when that person gets a chance, not all the time though, I've seen this happen where you let someone in, and when that car that you let in could have let another car in, they don't. That always fascinates me how they don't do that. I'm like, isn't that interesting? You let them in, and you showed them kindness when you didn't have to. But when they had an opportunity to do the same, many times they won't. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. But do you stop showing kindness because somebody else doesn't do it? You can't. You cannot. Because your blessings are your blessings. They're there, and it's how do I describe? They're your blessings, and that I call it vibration. That's what I call it. It's a vibration, like a wave that goes out into the world. When you're vibrating this good energy of being kind, of being nice, of showing love. It can only vibrate out goodness. And I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect. I don't want to give the wrong impression. No. But I will tell you this. I believe this. When you show the love and the kindness to other people, it may not come back the way it went, but it is coming back to you. It is. That's what I believe. I believe that is God's way of heal. It doesn't come the same way. That's usually not the case, but it does come back. It comes back in different ways to you. And you may not even realize it. Maybe when you just missed that car, it could have been a car accident, it could have been you, but you just missed it. The car just missed you. The car just have you ever had those kind of things happen? Because I have. And I go, that little kindness I've shown may have just been that little kindness I needed to not get in that car accident, to not have this thing happen, or to that little bit that, and you could call it grace. That's another thing you may say. People may call it grace. It's so many things, but what are you showing? It doesn't have to be romantic. It does not have to. I don't want to give you the wrong impression, because romance is only one part of it. So how do we don't make romance the only part of it? Because it is. Many times it may not be romance. It could be other. It can, as I said before, or another way, you're in line at a store, at a grocery store. Normally, I don't think I'd let anybody in line unless it was in a rush or something at a grocery store. But just showing kindness, asking the person how's your day going? I've had people stop and look at me like I'm crazy, and they said, "You're the only person that said that today." And I said, "You're kidding! All these people coming through here." And they're like, "Yeah." So I'm saying that may sound small, but if you're the one working and you're tired and you're hungry or you're whatever, and somebody just says, "How is your day going? How's it going?" An act of kindness. And not that you say, "How's your day going?" and keep going down the line, just act like you don't care. Listen to them. It doesn't even take a minute. It's like 30 seconds. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Or if it's not good, I hope it gets better. You have a blessed day. What I say? All that good energy going out. Still going out. It doesn't go away. I'm not saying it stores up, but it's still going out in this world. And that person, next thing you know, they're asking someone else. Maybe they went on break. How you doing? How you having a good day? You look like you kind of having a little stress going on, and it could be. We've all had stressful days. Come on now. I have. But even through that, you can still show kindness. Don't ever think that the love, we call it love, we call it kindness, that those things are something we have to hold in and not share. I don't know why we think that. Nope. You can share it. And as I said before, I call it vibrations. And those vibrations are like waves that go out. They go out. And some of you may say you've experienced that before. Some of you may say, well, I did something nice and then the next person cut me off or they said something they did. As I said before, there are no guarantees. There's no guarantees to anything I'm saying here, not one thing. But I can tell you the guarantee is this. When you do those kind, nice things, and I'm sitting up here, I don't think Oliver's here because somebody's at the front door and I can't leave the show to go get the door. So they probably have to leave it at the front door. Oh, I guess Oliver got it. Okay, he's here. Okay. Keep in mind, somebody's going to do something nice for you too. I promise you that. I have yet to see it happen that the things I'm saying to you, and somewhere down the line it doesn't come back. I've yet to see that happen. In all the years I've been on the planet, I've never seen it where it didn't come back. It always comes back. It always comes back, but it doesn't always come back the way it went. That's not. I can't stress that to you enough. Oh, thank you, Carl. Carl says you're crushing it. I appreciate you, Carl. Thank you. More than you know. Thank you. Well, I can tell you, I wanted to share this because I don't know, something. I know we were traveling last week too. My husband and I, we went to, those of you familiar, I'm changing the subject. I have a bad habit of that. I have to let you know when I'm doing that. We went to, it's called ABFF, and it's a American Black Film Festival, which we had never been. It was in Miami. I'd never been to Miami. So that was a whole new experience for me. But traveling, if you think something's going to get on your nerves, I promise you, it's going to get on there 10 times more than you think it's going to get on there. So you really have to know if it happens when you travel, it's going to happen when you're not traveling. And that kindness, I always say no matter what, but when I travel, before I even leave home, I always pray. I always pray before I leave home. The reason being, I know something gonna happen. Because it has never felt something happen. Either something, you're gonna get in line, you're gonna be in line for 2 or 3 hours. You thought it was gonna take you 30. Oh, this is gonna be something. I don't care what it is. They're gonna, your luggage is not gonna be where it's supposed to be. I promise you it's gonna be something. But how you take it is so important. But I guess some people don't expect it, because I watch some people get all frustrated, and I watch some people just stand there like, this is part of it. I think we're just waiting for the luggage to come down, and I'm watching some people, they're pacing up and down. And then maybe they had to get to a meeting. I don't know and then other people was just chilling. Like, you can't make the luggage come up there any faster than it's going to come up there. And then I thought, well, maybe they have to catch a bus, or I don't know. But I did. As you can see, I people watch. I think people watching is one of the most intriguing things. Just watching people, how they act and react and do. I don't stare at them or nothing like that. I'm not people stalking people. But I'm just saying, how do we take things? Are you nice to the stewardesses? Do you use your please, thank you, you're welcome, common courtesies? Because I did learn this, and some of you, I know it too. Common courtesies are not so common anymore. Have you guys seen that too? You would do things, and you can see I was raised in the generation when you let people in, they throw their hand up. That's their way of saying thank you. People don't do that anymore. I noticed it. I still do it. I'm still old school. But I noticed for the most part, people don't do that. And I remember at first I felt bad about it. I was like, I let them in and they didn't even say thank you. Now, is there a law that they have to say thank you? No. But I had to get over myself. I had to get over them. I had to get over me. And I had to come to terms with it is okay. Now like I said, I think about what I'm saying here. I was raised to do that. Were they raised to do that? Probably not. So what was I putting on them? My parents taught me. Now, I don't know what their parents taught them. And even if I don't know what, I have no clue. But it's so funny. When somebody does raise their, like you let them in and they throw their hand up to say thank you, I always say, oh, they must have had the same kind of parents I had. So I've learned, but don't we project our ways on other people? I know I do. I had to work at that. And it's a daily thing. It's not a once every now and then. It is literally daily. And that's where grace comes in. That's why you show people grace. If that person doesn't do it, you say, you know what? Okay. That's okay. They may not, and not that they may not even know that that's something they should do. Think about that. They're just glad to get in when they're driving or something like that. It's nothing against you. They just glad not to have to wait in that line by all those people. Because, some people will not let you in. That's not funny, but I've seen it too many times. They won't. They're like, mm-mm. Or they won't let you over. Oh, that's even the worst. When you're driving and they see you trying to get over and will speed up to keep you from getting over. I know you guys say, what is wrong with Mary today? But I'm telling you these things, this happened to me. And I keep thinking, if this is happening to me, I'm sure it's happening to other people. I'm sure other people going through the same things that I'm, and going through. So I would tell you, if you are traveling, put on, number one, let me tell you, those of you traveling, put on comfortable shoes because you're going to walk. I'm telling you what I know. I don't care. Being able to walk those airports, I was sitting there going, if I didn't have my exercise, I got it now. So I would be, and I say that because if I didn't have comfortable shoes or he didn't have comfortable shoes, the first thing we're going to do is complain about, oh, we got to walk here. Oh, we got to walk. You might as well get ready for that. That's just part of the journey. That's part of the journey. But a lady I can see, this is what I mean about the kindness. We were in Miami on our way back to California, and the line to get through, you guys know how that is to get through with the metal detectors and all that. And I don't even know the lady, never met her. And she told us to go in the TSA line. I did everything but jump up and down. That's probably the only thing I didn't do. And I was sitting there and she said, no, you can, she moved the little, band over and said, you guys can go in that line. And I said, thank you. Because the line was long. And the first thing people do when they see you go up there into the front is, who is this? Who is this that you can zip right up there? And all I kept thinking was, this is favor. This is for all the times you did say nice things or did nice things. And now, look, you get to come up here. And you're not going to believe what happened once I got up there. I couldn't even get in. The man up there, he said, somebody typed in the wrong birthday for you, and you have to go all the way back. Think about that. True story. Remember I said that? Something going to happen? Here it is. I'm at the front of the line, and the man tells me, you have to go all the way back to the ticket counter. Now, I wasn't happy. And I sat there. I said, here we go. I actually said that, here we go. And so he said, do you want your husband to stay with you? I said, no, I said, you can go on. I don't want you to have to stay with me to go back over all the way to the other side and all this, that. So I said, you go through and I'll go back and get my change. But I remember thinking, soon as that man said you have to go back, I turned and looked at that line. But they told me, he gave me this little slip of paper, and he said, take this and you will not have to stand in line. I was so relieved when that man said that. I said, okay. And I went, he said, just go back out, and take this. I said, what about to the ticket counter? He said, don't stand in line there either. You have your ticket, your boarding pass. And what they did, they typed in Oliver's birthday on my ticket. But they typed the right Oliver's birthday, his correct birthday on his ticket, but they typed in his birthday on my ticket. I was sitting there going, boy, I tell you people. But what did I tell you? These things happen. Now, I could have had an attitude. I just sat there, but we always go early. Let me tell you that now. We go early to the airport because I know what the airport's about. That's a city in itself, is what it is. So you have to go. We do. We don't play around when it comes to flying somewhere. But it was still an adventure. That's what I call our adventures. So that was the adventure that we went through coming back. And I'm sitting up here thinking Oliver had gone on to our, to where the plane, the gate. I come through the meadow and all that, and there he is sitting right there. I said, "Oh, I thought you went over." He goes, "No, I'm waiting for you." And he's asked me what happened, and I said, "They put your birthday in." He goes, "You're kidding." I go, "No." But these things happen. Now, I'm not saying I'm in love with those people, but I will tell you this. Grace. Show people grace. Because you know what's interesting about grace? We want people to show us grace. We sure do. We want people to be kind to us, to be nice to us. We want all that, but we don't always show the same thing. When you raise your voice, that's not showing grace. When you yell and scream, that's not showing grace. Children can't take it. This is what I find. Children cannot take it, and seniors cannot take it. They cannot take it when people yell and scream and all that. They can't take it. It's too much emotional stimuli for them. It's too much. That's why little kids cry. I'm not saying that they don't, I'm not saying not to ever yell. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. But I'm saying that there's a time and a place and all those kind of things. But I've seen everything. I've seen people go off on people to my opinion, for no reason. But those of you familiar, I'm going to give you this book that I have read. I read that book over 20 years ago. And it's called The Four Agreements. I think I've mentioned it on the show before. The Four Agreements. And it's by Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements. And one of the agreements in that book is nothing anyone says or does is because of you. Wow. Think about that. Because I used to always think, I put blame on myself. Nothing. Everyone is living their own journey, their own dream. That's what he calls it, your own dream. So nothing anyone says or does is because of you. It's because of them and their dream for themselves. It changed my life. It changed my life. So now when I see people go through their temper tantrums or whatever they're doing, I recognize that's their issue. That has nothing to do with me. That's them. And just knowing that has changed my life, has made me look at things differently and show what? Grace. Grace. Kindness. If they're acting too crazy, I'm going to get out the way and, just go, no, this is not, we need to part company here. But for the most part, it's usually they're having a bad day or somebody said something to them. All those things have nothing to do with you. Think about that. So as you go on in life, in this show, you guys are like, what is this show really about? It's about a lot of things, but love is one. What is love? What is it? And we can go review that one last time because I know we're getting near the end. And this is what the show is about. What is love? And love, we think of romantic love. That's only one kind of love. It's not the only love. But who doesn't want romantic love? So And 1 Corinthians, when it says, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast, it is not arrogant or rude. Think about those things. Think about what that's big, all of those things. And it does not insist on its own way. Okay? It is not irritable or resentful, and it does not rejoice. Wow. Powerful. Next, on John 15:12, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Luke 6:31, do to others as you would have them do to you. And Corinthians 16:14, do everything in love. I don't think it says do some things in love. I think it says everything. It says everything. Do it in love. So, as we come to a close for today's show, I do want to let you know I have enjoyed this. This was something new. Now, this is different. Next week, we have a speaker. She is one of our she's our special guest speaker for next week. Her name is Ruby. And I met her on the set of, what were we doing? It's called BET Shorts. If you're familiar with BET Shorts, they're like 20-minute short films. And she was, no, I'm wrong. I met Ruby in Atlanta. I was thinking, I met Ruby when I was in Atlanta on the set for Strangelove. That's where I met her. Young filmmaker. And I was just very impressed with her. Then, when we were in Miami, I saw her again. The movie that's coming out soon with Viola Davis called Woman King. And so Ruby, they were it's under TriStar Films. And so they gave us a preview of it. And after the preview, they asked people to have questions. I think she was one of the first ones. And her question was, I am a cinematographer, a camera operator. And she said, here's my contact information. Can I give it to you? And she went on stage and handed it to them. And I was like so impressed with that. I didn't even know it was Ruby, but it was. So I asked her at the end, I said, here I am from afar. I said, that looks like Ruby. And it was. So, excuse me and my cough, almost gone. Anyway, I say that to say she's going to be the guest next week on the show. And she is a young woman. I think Ruby's 20 something. And any young person in the entertainment industry is fascinating to me because the industry now has opened up. You don't have to wait to make a movie. You don't have to wait to make a short. You don't have to wait for anything anymore. With all this technology that's here, and a lot of it is even free. So if that's what you want to do, nowadays, just go do it. That's really what it is. Just go do it. So I'm very, very impressed. And I asked her if she'd be a special guest, and she said she sure would. And it'll be on the 4th of July. So I'm looking forward to having Ruby on the show. We have other guests coming, but we also have other topics coming. Some other topics will be coming to you. And you'll have a chance. Those of you that would like to be on the show. Okay. Thank you, Gwen. It's always a pleasure. Love seeing you. And so keep in mind, if you would like to be on the show, you can email me. I'll put this in the chat real quick because we're down to 1 minute. And I'll give you Delano, D-E-L, Delano Law 319 at Gmail. Whoops, one dot. Send me your information. This is when there's panels. If you're on one of the panels, that kind of thing. But if you would like your own show where you're the only focus, I can give you the link for that. I'll do that quickly too. You will go to frontpagepublishing.com. .x.com. And You can sign up to get the e-blast, or you can sign up. Oh, okay. It didn't go through. I'm just going to tell you what it is then. I don't know why I didn't accept it. But frontpagepublishing.com. And you can sign up to e-blast, or you can sign up to be on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're exactly 2:00, and I do have to go. I love you, though. I do. And I miss you guys. But I will be seeing you every Monday from 1 to 2 PST, Pacific Standard Time. Take care. I'll see you next Monday. God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.